Thanksgiving Day is drawing near. Since Plymouth Rock, us turkeys live in fear. You're giving thanks for what you got. Family, friends, and food and fun. But man, this oven's hot. Fill your plates up to the sky with cranberries, cornbread, stuffing, wings, and legs and thighs. So be thankful for this dinner, that your life's so freaking sweet. Be thankful that you're not a walking tethered slab of meat. Be thankful when you're happy, and thankful when you're free. But most of all, be thankful. Be thankful that you're not me.
Hey, fool, this ain't no football game.
Emma's a pimp!
Wait until the Reaper takes my life.
Lucky for you, you are right where you need to be. So sit back, relax, and turn up the volume on your streaming device. Johnny Ballgame, Sir Poops-a-Lot, and the Fantasy Reaper are about to deliver humor and fantasy gold at the same time. Crush your opponent with a smile. It's Fantasy Sports Island.
Welcome back to Fantasy Sports Island.
How's it going?
Looky who we have here. Can you believe it?
I can't.
Fantasy Rolls Royce making an appearance.
Hey! Not just do picks, I also bitch about my team. Oh, that's Poop's job. But yeah, I do that too.
Dude, you had a monster week. Mr. Fade the running backs, zero RB theory. You're killing it, bro.
Isn't that funny? Who would have thought? Hey, I did the exact same thing in my other league, and I'm like 1-9. So,
well, that debunks it.
It debunks it, right? Hey, but in the money league, though, come on, I'll take it, right?
Yeah, you've vaulted all the way from like the middle of the pack all the way up to second place now. Second place. So pretty impressive move. Doing it with Pollard and guys you got late in the draft. Your Devontae Adams, and you got Jamar Chase coming back. Team's looking pretty good, man.
Yeah, we'll see. See what happens. Just keep it going. Let's go.
You know whose team is also looking pretty good? Sir Poops a lot. Tony, what's happening, my man?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm glad you have faith in my team. So I'm nervous. They look good on paper, but I don't know, man. Every week is so weird.
Well, when you have the number one quarterback in the land in Patrick Mahomes and James Conner coming on strong. Another touchdown.
It's like 4 yards of a touchdown. A huge week.
Take it.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony, what should the folks do if they appreciate our video?
Well, I know there's a bunch of different things, but I think the most important part is to subscribe. That's number one. They definitely need to subscribe. I
agree, man. If you subscribe to the video, every time our video comes out, it'll just kind of let you know, hey, new video out, and hopefully you're a repeat customer. But also hitting that like button helps the algorithm. YouTube will spit it out to more people the more that you like the video. So hit that like button. It doesn't take long. Just hit that little thumbs up, just a little tiny smash. Boom, done, right? And Royce, what about that little bell, man? If they hit that little, subscription bell, that means they get that notification every week, man. I think that's a good idea.
I love it. Do it. Because I'm not here a lot, but if you start ringing that bell, maybe I'll come by more often.
You know what? They should have a Royce bell. Just a Royce bell that when Royce is going to make an appearance, it dings to you folks out there so you know to come on, check out the Degenerate Gambler.
I want people to comment too. I want them just to put poop. They don't have to say anything. Just come on and put poop and leave. Poop. That's all I have.
No problem.
Put the Fantasy Reaper down there too. And put the Degenerate Gambler down there.
Yeah.
And you know who's missing tonight? Johnny freaking Ballgame. Johnny, we miss you, brother.
Or something. What is he doing?
I mean, he said it last week. We do this every week until we don't.
Right.
Deal with it. All right, we got a good show tonight, fellas. We're going to do our fantasy heroes and zeros. We're going to do some waiver wire gems. Tony, you got a little segment called the Poop List coming up a little later. And we're going to finish off with Roll with Royce, the Degenerate Gambler, with his fantastic picks. I think he's going to go 3-0 this week. He's got 3 gems for us, so we'll see what's up with that. Johnny will be back next week, so don't you guys worry. First things we want to do is wish you guys all, happy Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's coming up this week, and we know you're going to enjoy that with your family, eat a lot of turkey and all that good stuff, and just make it a great weekend in football and in life. And we appreciate you watching, so thank you. We're very thankful for you viewers out there. And having said that, let's get into some news. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. So, starting in New York, head coach Robert Saleh now says he will not commit to Zach Wilson going forward. Tony, is it Mike White time, or is it Joe Flacco time, or are they just going to stick with Wilson? What's your gut?
I find it peculiar that he brought that up without backing it up. Is he trying to light a flame under his QB's butt? I don't think so. I think they're going to make a change. I really do. Now, who they're going to bring in is kind of the same, but let's be honest. I mean, Mormon boy, with no disrespect by that, it's because I always forget his name. He's not doing the job. So you think Flacco or White's going to be much worse? Flacco showed signs of being better. I say bring somebody in, baby. Let's do it. Get some fresh blood in there.
I call him the mofo, and that's short for you guys know what. And if you know what this dude has done in the past this offseason, you'll know what that means. And yes. I'll just leave it at that, so I'm not getting too vulgar. Royce, what do you think's going to happen? I mean, the dude threw for 77 yards in the entire game.
I know. I think we could put a helmet on Poop, and he can at least get 80 yards, right? And the Jets. But you know what? I think they should have did this internally. They had a bad game, and he said something about his defense. And you know what? You got to keep playing the kid. I'm sorry. It's just if you bench him now, it's just going to blow up in everyone's face. I know the Jets are playing well, but I don't think you bench the kid. I think you had a bad game. The Patriots are playing well. They have good D. First of all, the Patriots have not given up a touchdown this month. By the way, they ran into a brick wall. Happens. I'm not sure they play next week. I think you got to play him. Royce,
you're very forgiving to this man.
Yeah.
What if this guy slept with your mom? Would you be this forgiving?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to answer that, Chuck. What do you think?
If she's happy.
I mean, yeah, she's happy.
Yeah, if she's happy. And I don't have to call him daddy. Yeah.
All right. I actually think they're going to try either Mike White or Joe Flacco. I mean, I think things were working pretty good with Joe Flacco, honestly. He was throwing the ball like 50-something times a game, but he was completing passes and making it work. And Elijah Moore was useful with Joe Flacco. So I think they might give that a shot and see what happens. Because I'm sorry, but, I mean, Mofo's just not cutting it. All right. Broncos have finally waived the fantasy rooster. Bye-bye, Melvin Gordon. Finally. Goodbye. Can you believe this, Royce?
Yes. How many fumbles, Chuck, in the end zone?
4 fumbles on the goal line. On goal line carries 4. That's how you get out of the NFL super quick.
Absolutely. He'll be picked up though, right? I mean, it's Gordon. Someone's gonna grab him, right? You have to.
Probably the Rams.
Probably the Rams. Yeah, Henderson gone now.
Because they waived Daryl Henderson today.
Right. It's a thin position. Yeah. So
go ahead, Royce.
I was just gonna say, is it Murray time now, boys? Like, do you have any faith in him, or what do you think?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask Tony. So now that we've cleared out the fantasy rooster, and things, it seems like the only guy left. What do you think, Tony?
Well, I mean, I have to bring back old wounds, and Javonte. It's a shame because now this would be such a great opportunity for him to shine the second half of the season. So it's very unfortunate about his injury, but Murray looks okay, but I don't like anything on that roster right now. Nothing's clicking. They look terrible. So he's a starter, I guess. So he may get a little bit of points. He may be like a Connor, but I don't know what to say, man. I don't really like him. He's getting older, but he has had some spunk. So yeah, if you got a place in your roster, need a starter, grab him. But other
You
than that,
know, it seems good for Murray. Like, where else
Yeah.
are they going to go? But they have Mac. Return of the Mac. They brought him up from the practice squad. And you know what? It's Denver. We've seen this movie before. They always go RBBC. So I have a feeling Mac's going to really cut into Murray's carries, and it's not going to be as good as everyone hopes.
yeah,
I just
Yeah,
have
could
that
be.
feeling. Also, don't forget Mike Boone's coming back. Probably not this week, but the following week. So he'll be back to muddy the waters yet again in Denver. Now, on the flip, in LA, the Rams are a complete mess. They can't run the ball, and they just cut Darrell Henderson. You know, what do we expect there, Royce? Like, who's going to be the running back?
I guess they love Akers that much. You know, Henderson was leading the team in rushing yards, which is interesting, right? Like, and now it's Akers and a bunch of practice
Kyron
squad
Williams.
guys.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Rams, I think the Rams they threw the towel in a few weeks ago. I mean, Stafford, I mean, it's a mess, really. Yeah. I think it's stay away from all Broncos and all Ram. Cup's hurt. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, like Johnny and I said, they were done like 3 weeks ago. I mean, it's over. It's over. All right, tight end Kyle Pitts hyperextended his knee and has been put on the IR, and looks like he needs surgery with a torn MCL, which it is possible that his season could be done. And you know what I say, Tony? Thank God. I am tired of making the decision whether or not to play this freaking guy, and it's not his fault. It's Marcus Mariota. He doesn't support the tight end position in this offense. They run the ball too much. But at least now I can just cut bait and move on and find a new show at tight end. What do you think, T?
Yeah, I mean, for fantasy owners, they can stop biting their fingernails every Sunday morning on like what he's going to do.
Right.
It's a shame because he's such a talented kid, and you know, we would have loved to seen a great season on him, but it's not happening over there. So for you, I feel good for you, but I feel bad for him.
I do, and I hope this, you know, it is possible that he can have the surgery and get back at the end of the season for the last couple weeks, but why? Why even bother? Just let him finish off the season. They're not going to make the playoffs most likely, and move on, get him healthy for next year. And can we please get him a quarterback that throws him the ball? Please?
Exactly.
Please.
Exactly. And real quick, guys, he only scored 10 or more points 3 times this year.
Yeah.
That's it.
And the thing is, he's got so much potential, you feel like you almost had to play him because you were scared that 1 week you didn't play him, and that was the week I didn't play him. He had 80 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, you can't win with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Justin Fields, Chicago Bears quarterback, injured his non-throwing shoulder late in that game. The range of outcomes, according to the coach, Eberfluten, the range of outcomes is day-to-day, or it could be season-ending. I find that hilarious. That's what he said. He's like, I'm not ruling out a season-ending injury, but it's day-to-day. What the hell does that mean, Tony?
I don't know. I have no clue. You guys don't either. This seems like this has been such a crazy season, man. So many people are pulling shit out of their behind. We'll talk about that later too. But I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. These guys are such bullshit artists.
It's his non-throwing arm, so I can't see a scenario where he's out for the year. I mean, unless it's really bad. We'll see. But it's a shame because it did affect him in the second half. And his running game especially, he was afraid to run the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had something like 70 some odd yards rushing in the first half. And then after he hurt his shoulder, it reduced to like 10 to 12 yards rushing in the second half, something like that. So that's not a good sign.
But it's not a shock though, right, guys? I mean, the guy runs every third play, right? I mean, this happens. It's going to happen. And it did.
Like a matter of time.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Which is sad.
More injury news, more grim injury news. This one's for Wan'Dale Robinson of the Giants. He tore his ACL, and now he is done in New York for the season, and probably will miss probably more like half of next year as well, because this is a 9-month injury minimum.
Yeah.
So kind of sad news. He'd come on, had his best game. He had, I believe 7 or 8 catches for 100 yards before the injury occurred. I mean, what do we do in New York, Tony?
Yeah, it's a shame. How often does that happen to their wide receivers too? I'm not saying it's always that severe of an injury, but they're always hurt. And to see a young guy, as usual, I keep saying, with all that talent, it's just really a shame. There's a couple guys that can step up now for your fantasy teams. They'll look good, but yeah, it sucks. Hate to hear it.
You nailed it too. I mean, if you go back to Victor Cruz, tore his ACL. Odell Beckham tore his ACL. I mean, every good receiver they have seems to get injured. Even the guy, I can't remember his name. He was opposite of Darius Slayton this year, tore his ACL in the first week. Who was that? The guy on the opposite side of Darius Slayton. It was like week 1.
I don't remember. You guys are smarter than me. Come on. Like Sterling Shepard or something?
Sterling Shepard. There you go. I mean, we've forgotten all about him because that happened so long ago. But that happened this year too. So
look at like Tony, Kadarius Tony or whatever.
Always hurt.
Constantly hurt, man. That guy, coming out of the gate looked amazing. It's hurt again for the Chiefs.
Matthew Stafford re-entered the concussion protocol after he missed a week due to a concussion. Then he played against the Saints and got another concussion. So with his second concussion in 2.5 weeks, I think this could be a long-term kind of injury for him. Could be the rest of the season, to be honest. You don't mess around when you get back-to-back concussions. What do you think, Royce? Are we done with Stafford?
Yeah, this second one, maybe, I don't know. It's just maybe it's a good thing. Maybe he just looked at his team and went, yeah, I'm going to spend a couple more minutes in the 10-hair boys. I'm not feeling well. I'm going to take the rest of the year off. I mean, right? I mean, it's sad, but yeah, for health reasons. There's no point. Were they 3-7 now? I don't forget what the record is, but it's I mean, the Super Bowl champs. It's too bad. Usually, you have a better showing in this next year, but injuries, it's tough. Yeah.
I mean, what happened to Tua? Didn't Tua hit him like back to back, and now he's kicking ass? Mm-hmm. I don't think Stafford's going to, and I also don't think that's smart, especially with Stafford. His wife is all ticked off too and doesn't want him to play. You know why they put him back into the concussion protocol? Because he was looking around going, where's Cooper Kupp? And then they realized, oh, this fucker has another head injury. Cooper Kupp's out, my man. He's out. All right.
That's fine.
All right. And some good news, all right, on the injury front. Wide receiver, Detroit Lions, Jameson Williams has been designated to return by the Lions and is practicing with the team, which is interesting. I suspect after the Thanksgiving game, they're going to ramp him up for the next week, week 13. Williams has a 21-day window to return to action, but I've heard that he might be back for week 13. Are we excited about Jameson Williams and the Lions, who have now won 3 in a row?
We're excited about the Lions. It's awesome. Awesome. A little bit of it's lucky, but man, they just they keep scoring. So that gives them more firepower, or having somebody on the other side there take off a little bit of pressure from St. Brown. But I don't love it because I have St. Brown in every league, but it's going to help the team.
Yeah, me too. And so does Chuck. And we talk about it every Sunday. Throw the ball to St. Brown. Let's go. So, but this kid's special, though. I mean, if you saw what he did in Alabama, man, oh, wow. He's a special talent.
The thing he will do is he'll back the safeties up, okay? And that will open up the middle of the field for your boy Amon St. Brown, Tony. Hopefully. I think this is a good thing for St. Brown. I really do. I really do.
Okay.
All right.
Fantasy Heroes and Zeros.
Okay, let's do our fantasy heroes and fantasy zeros. It's been a few weeks since we've done this segment. I'll start it off with the hero. My boy is Travis Kelce this week. This dude, 6 catches for 115 and 3 touchdowns. And of course, the Chiefs are trailing late. They throw a freaking slant pattern pass to the tight end. Travis Kelce outruns the entire defense for the game-winning touchdown. Tony, tell me, can you be more impressed with the dude at 33 years old than Travis Kelce?
No. It's another one of those things we talked about last summer, all the way to the beginning of the season, how none of us thought that he would do what he's doing now. We know he's good, but I don't think he's going to put up tight end 1 numbers. Remarkable. And not only does he still look fast and healthy, he still plows guys over. He catches the ball, drops the shoulder, and is drilling dudes and not getting hurt. Knock on the glass table, Right. He's incredible. Incredible.
Really is. It's tremendous. Royce, who do you got as your hero this week?
Tony Pollard.
Yeah, you do.
Which, yeah, I do. Oh, you know, guy, you know why. 36.9 fantasy points. Not bad. 5 rushes, 80 yards. He had 6 targets and caught them all for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wow. That if that's not RB1 numbers, I don't know what it is, right? He's the second, he's the guy behind Zeke. He doesn't start. That's the crazy part.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I was talking to Johnny about this last week, and he's like, are you going to start Ezekiel Elliott, when they're both in there? And I said, no, I'm going to start Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
And that's why. Because he's more explosive.
Absolutely.
And I think he proved it yet again. They got to give him more looks.
They
more
do.
looks than Ezekiel Elliott.
But you know what, Chuck and Tony, it's funny. When you see him go in, he's not the main guy. He's not getting 30 touches. So every touch is gold for him. He's gonna make the best of it because he gets 10, he's getting closer to 12, 15. He's coming out. And the same with his routes too. I mean, he's going for the end zone, man. He's just, he's not just going for 2 or 3 yards, man. He's just going for everything, which is great.
Absolutely game-changing stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's more explosive and a contract year, by the way. So how that goes sometimes. So
yeah, he's motivated.
Yeah, he is.
All right.
Very motivated.
All right, Tony, who's your hero?
I'm going to stick with the Cowboys. This guy I was kind of doing this. I wasn't sure if I was going to start him because he's had a mediocre year at best and hurt, but I put Dak Prescott. Now, the numbers weren't astronomical, but what was impressive is what he threw 25 times, and he went 22 for 25.
Wow.
2 touchdowns, about 300 yards. That was really promising. I'm surprised that the defense laid down the way they did, but it was very promising. So he was my number 1 hero this week.
Nice.
All right. I want to make an honorable mention for a couple heroes at quarterback. One being Jacoby Brissett, who was actually the QB1 overall in our league. He had 3 passing touchdowns, 324 yards, added 29 rushing yards, and he was very, very efficient. 28 completions. He was 28 of 41. That's pretty good. Best game probably of Jacoby Brissett's career. So just wanted to mention that. And of course, let's talk about Joe Burrow. John actually predicted he would be the QB1 this week, and he wanted us to make note of that and all that good stuff. And he finished as QB3 behind Brissett and Mahomes. But I do want to mention in some formats, Burrow was the number 1 scoring quarterback, depending on what kind of format you're in. But he had 4 touchdowns and 355 passing yards. So I thought it was a pretty good game and a pretty good call by Johnny.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Really
All
good.
right. So let's talk about a few zeros. My first 0 is Dameon Pierce, unfortunately. And I think this is the first week where I could say that because he did absolutely nothing. 8 carries for 10 yards, 2 catches for 9 yards. And he didn't break off any runs, didn't break tackles. It was just a bad game for Dameon Pierce. And I hope this was a one and done for that.
I think so. I think
we all have him, right?
Yeah, we all have.
We all have him.
And that was my 0 too, Chuck. So yeah, you took it.
I just stole your first 0.
You did, but yeah, it was bad. But you know what? Real quick, he's averaging just under 18 carries a game. That's 3rd in the NFL. So he's going to get his. But remember though, if you remember that game, Texas second or third play was a pick 6, and they're already down 7-0. Teams that are that bad, they're going to have to throw. Unfortunately, that's what kind of hurt them a little bit.
Yeah, they were down 20-0 at the blink of an eye.
And you're not running the ball. It's 20-0, unfortunately. So that's the only problem with being on a really bad team. So you just hopefully they get 3 points or they score quick so they can run the ball and control the game. So.
Yeah. All right, Tony, who you got as your 0?
This one pains me. Got to go DeAndre Swift. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's past injuries, past attitude, or what, but he's definitely not getting the ball. He did have a touchdown, which kind of saved the week to having mediocre points, but I think he had 36 total yards or something and 1 TD. I don't know what's going on with him, but I guess they don't need him. They gave him
you know what? Yeah, he's obviously not 100%, and they're trying to protect their asset. They're really not using. I mean, he's the RB3 on that team.
Yeah.
Justin Jackson's getting more touches than him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jamal
Yeah.
Williams, by the way, 3 touchdowns again, leading the NFL in touchdowns.
Amazing.
Is that one of your zero RB guys, Royce?
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
I got Pollard and Williams. I know.
Good for you, Royce. Good job. Good job.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's go back to the heroes. All right. And even though in a couple leagues I didn't play them because I thought, freaking Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are back. Mike
Ugh.
Williams steps on someone's foot and re-sprains his ankle on the first touch.
Right.
And Josh Palmer goes freaking ballistic. 8 catches, 106, 2 touchdowns, including a 50-plus yarder in the first quarter. This man is breaking out right before our eyes, and I will not make that mistake again. He will be in all my lineups this week until further notice.
I agree.
Great.
What I like about that team too, and especially if you look at forward to next year, depending on what they're going to do, how many teams are we seeing that have 2 and 3 above average or great wide receivers now? It's becoming more of a thing, and I don't know if they're planning on that, but that team's even DeAndre Carter looks decent.
Yeah,
love it. I love it over there.
Too bad Herbert doesn't look decent.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't look too good, does he?
He had an okay game. He had a pretty good game, but made the bad pick at the end again.
Yeah.
Royce, who's your hero?
Mr. Devontae Adams. I think I have him too. Yeah. Gosh, have you seen a more open guy at the end of the game to win the game? Like, what happened to the defense there? Oh, it was the Broncos.
Yeah.
For cat. 31.1 fantasy points. He had 13 targets, 7 receptions, 141 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, other than that one game, it was just a stinker. What he didn't do, it was nothing. This is like, 2 touchdowns. Okay, that's good. It's a normal day at the office for him, right? I mean, even on a shitty team, like the Raiders. God, can you imagine what the Raiders would be like if they didn't have Devontae Adams? Ooh.
It's too easy for him, man.
Yeah, I mean, you watch the catches that he makes. I mean, he has 2 guys on him sometimes, and it doesn't matter. Or no guys on him if you play the Broncos, yeah. But he's still. I mean, he could play on any team, and he'd be, he's a wide receiver 3 every week, pretty much, right?
Yeah, he's always top 10. He's amazing.
Yeah. So.
All right, Tony, who do you want to make a hero?
I've been waiting on this guy all season. This is like his second good game for me, plus another. Missed a few games with injury, but Kittle, 4 for 84 and 2 touchdowns, looks great, and they're spreading the ball around in San Francisco, so I'm stoked about that. If I can get a touchdown and 50 yards out of Kittle, the way tight ends do their thing now, that's good. So, and he went above that. So I'm hoping every week he gets me at least 1 touchdown. I'll be happy.
By the way, tough beat for me in 2 different leagues, head-to-head situations. One was the FFPC league, which is a big money league, and one was my dynasty league. I had a huge lead. The guys I was facing, they both had Garoppolo, and in the FFPC, the guy also had Kittle. And on that second touchdown, which they didn't need, that should have never happened, on poor tackling by Arizona, I lost in both leagues by this much. Man, tough beat, man. That stung. That was one of the worst 5 minutes of my life, man. Just realizing, oh my God, I just lost both matchups. Ouch. Ouch. Isn't that weird how that lines up too? Like I'm playing the 2 different leagues. I'm playing the guys that have Kittle and freaking Garoppolo.
That's freakish.
Yeah, it's freakish.
But Chuck, on the other end, you've been on the other side too, right?
I've been lucky at times. Yeah.
The Monday night games, you'd be like, okay, I need this to happen, and it does. You're surprised.
Sure, yeah.
We've all been there.
Doesn't ease the pain when you barely lose.
Yeah, but I can't tell you how many times I had Antonio Brown and I needed a catch at the end to win some money in the last week of the season, and he makes this miraculous touchdown. Right. I mean, come on. I've been lucky, so I can't bitch too. Right. All right. We got to do a little more on the zero, but first, let's do a couple honorable mentions at running back before I move on. Derrick Henry had another 2 touchdown game and 80-plus yards. I thought that deserved some credit. Austin Eckler with another good game, bunch of catches. Is there anyone else that had some good weeks that you guys want to mention before we move on? Samaje Perine, 3 touchdowns.
Perine,
yeah. While Mixon was out with the concussion, Perine 8. Yeah, I mean, jeez,
He did.
P. Ryan 8.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and then Josh Jacobs had another fantastic game. I think he got 30 plus fantasy points, so I wanted to mention him as well. And then at the wide receiver position, we talked about Devontae Adams and Josh Palmer. How about Amari Cooper?
All right.
I mean, Amari Cooper, 113 yards and 2 touchdowns on 8 catches. So I really want to give him some props. And then tight end position, we had Kelsey and Kittle, the normal guys, but Austin Hooper came through with a couple tutties on that Thursday night game. So I just want to throw him out there. And then the Redskins defense went ballistic.
Crazy.
Against Houston. I mean, big time game. Want to give them some props. And the Patriots in that Jets game with the late touchdown on the punt return. That was pretty sweet too to win that game.
Right.
All right. Let's talk about some zeros. One more round of zeros. And this guy got freaking 0. Kadarius Toney. Didn't catch the ball and then got hurt. Cadaverous is back, Tony.
What do you want me to say? I really could have used him. It's like there's this thing in our big league, where it's like I'm just about getting so close to having like a go off week, but it's always just like, okay, it wasn't bad because one guy for some reason gets me a goose egg, and that was Tony.
I got the same goose egg, my man. I thought he was going to have a monster game.
I did too.
I did too.
What a Royce, yeah. What are you going to do, man?
What are you going to do? Right.
All right, Royce. Give me your 0. Oh, you have another one.
Yeah, I got one more. Yeah. Devontae Foreman had a bad game.
Deontay Foreman.
11 rushes, 24 yards, and he had 1 target, no catch. Yeah, and the last few weeks he really went off, and I bought into it too. I picked him up after that monster week he had like 3 weeks ago. I didn't. Yeah. It's Baltimore, and who knows? The Panthers, just their offense, it's awful, right? I mean, I think Darnold is starting this week. I don't know if that helps Foreman or not. I'm not sure who they're playing. I don't know. It's a shiny thing 3 weeks ago, and you pick it up, and then then some games it's just not going to happen. So
game script wasn't good for him either. Playing against the Ravens, playing from behind. Yeah, it just didn't work out. It wasn't a good matchup.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
And I think you stole Tony's thunder too. I think Tony was going to pick him as well. Is that right?
Yeah, but no, that's all right. I can even comment on it because I when it ran into the same problem as you, I really needed him in a league, but I didn't do enough research. I know it's the Ravens defense, but you look back and the Ravens have definitely given up some points, but they haven't given up anything to running back since like week 6 or 7. And I should have known better. I shouldn't have taken that risk, but he's looked pretty good. Foreman has looked good. Yeah. So all we needed was like another one of those games. Like I say, hey, give me 60, 70 yards and a tutty. That's all I'm asking. And they come back with like 20 yards, right?
Yeah.
Great.
I know. Great.
I got another mention of a running back, if I can interject, but I don't really remember his numbers exactly. I just remember looking at my roster and almost passing out, and that was Barkley. What did he didn't do much, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have it right in front of me here, and let me pull that up. Yeah, Barkley did not have a good game. He sorry, give me 1 second, I'll get you his numbers. I have it right here. Yeah. Barkley finished with 10 fantasy points. 15 rushes, 22 yards. And he had 2 catches for 13 yards, and that is that.
That's not like his season. Not right now. And
Matt Breida got in the end zone.
Yeah.
Right.
That helps no one.
Those kind of weeks, man.
It actually helped me in the FFPC. I had a bunch of guys on bye, including Skywalker, and I had to plug in Matt Breida.
Oh, wow.
Matt Breida got a touchdown. Thank you.
That's
awesome.
Great. Wow. Nice. There you go. It helps someone.
See, the fantasy gods even things out for me. See?
That's true.
All right.
Waiver Wire Gems.
That's true.
All right, let's do some waiver wire gems. We're getting ready for week 12. People on the waiver wire, looking for some gems. Let's give them some guys, all right? Let's give them some guys. By the way, no buys this week. Turkey Day. Everyone's playing this week, so we don't have to worry about that. But people are still getting desperate for them guys Let's start the quarterback position. I'll throw some guys out there, see what we think. Jared Goff worth a pickup?
In the 14-team league, yeah.
Yeah, if you have to have them.
I
Yeah.
mean, I do like the matchup this week against the Bills, to be honest with you. I mean,
Yeah, Bills
I
have been
think-
really giving up. They've been giving up points.
yeah, and like you said, the Lions have won 3 in a row. He's throwing the ball. They got to throw the ball.
Jamison Williams coming on in a
Yeah.
couple weeks here to just further help this offense. Swift, like we've talked about, has kind of been faded out of the offense, so they're not running as much. They're going to throw a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, why
That'd
not?
be good.
I mean, yeah.
Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones had over 300 yards passing this week. His high before this game was 217 yards passing. He had 364 yards passing in this game. And do we think this continues? Would you pick up Daniel Jones, or is it a kind of a one-off thing because he played the Lions?
I think it's one off. I don't think he's gonna be terrible, but especially losing the wide receiver. He had chemistry with that kid. So I don't know. I wouldn't be running out to start him. I'd give it a week or two and see what he's up with the other guys. I mean, Slayton's doing a good job, but I don't buy it. I don't see him throwing over 250 yards this week.
Yeah.
Also lost Wandale, let's not forget, so could hurt him. What do we think about Ryan Tannehill? He had a monster game on Thursday night game. I just don't trust Tannehill because I've seen it before. Too many games where he throws sub 200 yards and no touchdowns, and Derrick Henry will just dominate. So I don't know if he's worthy of a pickup. What do you think, Royce?
Well, who are they playing this week?
Aren't they? When do the Bengals play?
They're playing the Bengals. They're playing the Bengals this week.
Are they home?
Yeah.
They're-
I don't know if they're at home. I actually think
Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't
matter.
think I'd play him. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. I think, again, it's shiny thing, and then he can come back and throw 2 picks. And
or Derrick Henry just gets 30 to 40 carries, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's, it's 13-10 game, whatever. Yeah. So
Deshaun Watson, 2 weeks away. Actually, 1 week away. He will not play this week, but then he should be back for week 13. I personally think he's going to be rusty. I think Tony would agree with me. He hasn't thrown a live football in a real game in 2 years. I don't expect him to be fantasy relevant for at least a few weeks.
Absolutely. Week 16 towards the end, man.
But if your league plays all the way through to week 18, even if it plays to week 17, which most leagues do, maybe in the playoffs and in the championship week, could you use Deshaun Watson? Maybe. So is he worth a pickup? I think so. I think he's worth a pickup.
Absolutely.
I just wouldn't play him until you see it first.
I think his first game's at Houston. I think
It is.
So,
It's a homecoming. We'll see how he does. I think that's
a
good.
revenge game. Oh my God! I just want to watch that game because I just want to see what the posters are going to say.
Oh yeah.
When he walks in. Yeah.
Are they playing in Houston?
Yeah, I think they're in Houston. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see that too.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Would we do a speculative pickup of Mike White for the Jets? I don't think so. I just think that Jets offense is not good enough, no matter who's the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't.
Okay. Cam Akers. A lot of people, gave up on Cam Akers. Now we know Darrell Henderson's out of the picture. If he's on the waiver wire, would you go get him? Or is the Rams offense that bad?
Well, I think they're that bad that they're going to have to run it. So I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. And he's got something to prove. He had this attitude and he was wanted out of there and so on and so forth. So now he's like, I'm going to be gone next year possibly. So let me shine. Give me the ball.
Okay. Talked about this a little. I want to reinforce Matt Breida. He scored a touchdown this week, but Matt Breida is a good pickup just in case, Barkley goes down. Matt Breida is a very capable running back. Also, on a per-touch basis, not just this year, but in his career, since he's been active, Matt Breida is number 1 in the NFL in yards per touch. Can you believe that? Matt Breida.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
All right. How about James Cook? 80 yards rushing this week.
Yeah.
Look good. Singletary looked good too, but if something were to happen to Singletary, James Cook could be fire going down the stretch.
I agree. Have him on that bench. You got a
Absolutely.
spot, you keep him.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep him. Absolutely.
Damian Harris came back and spoiled the party for Ramondre Stevenson. I think he started the game, got the first touch, got the first few carries, ended up the more effective running back in that game. Ramondre remained the third down back, and he caught a lot of balls, but Damian Harris was the guy carrying the rock. Are we concerned, and would you pick him up?
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I got freaking Belichicked again, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
did.
It's
You
frustrating.
did.
It's one
It
of
is
the-
frustrating. Because Stevenson's absolutely the better running back, right? I mean, I think so.
I think so.
I think
mean,
he's
he's more complete. Yeah, but
younger, stronger, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, and he has the longer future. I mean, I think this is Damian Harris's contract year. So I'm not sure why maybe the Patriots are just going to run him into the ground here. I don't know. All right. Dontrell Hilliard has looked pretty good in the limited touches he does get for Tennessee. But if Derrick Henry were to go down, I think it's a fantastic handcuff. You know, if you got Henry, you should also have Hilliard. So go out and get him. Looking down the wire here, you know, Latavius Murray shouldn't be on waiver wires, but if he is, just go get him because he is the lead back for now. Samaje Perine shouldn't be on waiver wires, but check just in case. It is possible Mixon misses a week, and we saw what Samaje can do, so that's a good pickup. And Kyron Williams, I think the Kyron Williams show is over. I don't know if he's worth a pickup. The Rams' offense is putrid. I mean, I don't care that Darrell Henderson is gone. I mean, I don't know. What do you think, T?
Yeah, I don't like it either. Like I said, I think it's just I think Akers is going to take over, and Akers isn't going to do that much. He's going to be okay. But I would keep Akers around if you need somebody. That's just me.
Okay. How about some wide receivers? Start with, Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb had several catches in the slot.
Yeah, I did.
He didn't look bad. So if you need 10 to 12 points, and some people do, Cobb, you could do worse than Cobb. All right. Traylon Burks.
I like him.
Monster game.
Yeah.
6 catches, 100 yards. I told you about him a couple weeks ago. He was going to come back, and here he is. If he's still on the waiver wire, go get him. I think he's my number one pickup on the waiver wire for wide receivers. What do you guys think?
He's awesome. Hell yeah. Fantastic.
He's really good, man. What game he had. Yeah, absolutely. Get him. Get him in your starting lineup, too. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Tony, tell me about Sky Moore. Would you pick him up?
Sky Moore. Yeah, I liked him at the beginning of the season. And now that they're depleted, I mean, especially if Juju doesn't play, Juju's still their number one. I think he's probably going to come back on Sunday. But Tony looks pretty banged up. Coli is definitely banged up and done. So why not plug Sky Moore in there? It's a good guy to have. I don't know if you're going to be able to get him. If you need a number 2 wide receiver, absolutely. But other than that, get him and stash him on your bench. That's my famous last words, is the bench. Has some depth.
That's what the bench is for, It's like a lottery ticket. You put him on there, and if he blows up, now you got a dude. All right, a couple guys that shouldn't be on the waiver wire, but for some reason are on the waiver wire in a lot of leagues. Donovan Peoples-Jones still. How much does he need to do to prove to you guys he's getting 6-7 balls every week, 80 to 90 yards, sometimes 100, and he got his first touchdown. And guys, Deshaun Watson will be here in a couple weeks. He throws deep. Why is Peoples-Jones on the waiver wire? I don't understand.
I don't know either.
I think it's the
Cleveland Browns thing. I don't know. I don't know.
And Demarcus Robinson was on everyone's waiver wire.
Yeah.
And he's been effective 2 weeks in a row now. He was the only wide receiver to catch a ball for Baltimore. What?
I know.
What?
No sense.
Baltimore. It's weird. It's crazy.
So yeah, go get Demarcus Robinson. Also, check the waiver wire. Make sure Darius Slayton's not there because he's now the de facto number 1 receiver again. They lost Wandale. They don't have Kadarius Toney. I mean, who else are they going to throw to?
Plaxico Burress.
Oh.
Oh.
If he had both his nuts still, maybe, but he shot one of them off. So
he's faster now, though. Yeah.
Just triple check to make sure Christian Watson is not on the waiver wire.
Right.
Probably won't be. Just make sure. All right. How about
Your
some tight
Jameson
ends?
Williams. Your Jameson
Ja-
Williams. You brought that
Jameson
up.
Williams, absolutely. Yeah, as a matter of fact, next to Traylon Burks, I think the next guy you should be looking to get is Jameson Williams. But I'm assuming he's not. People have been stashing him for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Tight ends. How about Lawrence Cager? He got released from his cage for the Giants, right? I mean, Daniel Bellinger is still going to be out a couple more weeks. Giants play the Cowboys this week. Cowboys are a little, forgiving against the tight ends. You could do worse than Lawrence Cager, right?
Yeah. No,
I
definitely.
mean, it's tight ends. They're freaking tight ends, man.
Exactly. Like kickers.
And if you like, bee stings, try out a Tyler Higbee sting. Those hurt. But Tyler Higbee, I mean, you would think with all the stuff going on there, he's going to see more balls, right? I mean, especially with Cooper Kupp out.
Yeah.
I would keep an eye on him because he's still, top 15 tight end.
Yep.
Austin Hooper after his 2-touchdown game. Maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, there's not a ton of good tight ends.
Yeah, there's not.
Guys that are getting the opportunity, then grab them.
Right.
In a lot of leagues, Juwan Johnson's still out there. And folks, he's the number 7 tight end in NFL.
It's
Fantasy
crazy.
football. He's number 7. He shouldn't be on the waiver wire. So go get him. Dawson Knox shouldn't be on the waiver wire. Go get him.
I got him.
And here's the last one. This is a guy that's on pretty much everyone's waiver wire. Logan Thomas, superhero Logan Thomas. Do we not forget how good this guy was a couple years ago? He's healthy
good.
now. He's back. He had a good game this week. I think Logan Thomas is a sneaky good pickup.
We do forget how good he was a couple years
He
ago.
was. We do. He was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The poop list.
Do this segment, Tony. You have prepared a new segment for us. It's kind of a remix of the old segment, the poop list. I'm giving you the stage. Just explain to the folks what your list is, your poop segment, and then go.
You got it. I'm glad you're giving this to me because a lot of this comes down to, my anger issues. So if I keep it kind of humorous in a joking manner, it helps me out a little bit. But this is really people that I want to bitch about. And we're going to start with some weekly guys. These are my players that I call they've pooped themselves. So I got to put on my hat. They've pooped their pants, and they've done it many times. And then every time I take off my glasses, I can't even see my face. This is pathetic. I only wear glasses when I do this show because it makes me look smart. It makes me look really smart, like I know fantasy football or something. So let's start with these. This is my Monday morning bowel movement. And the reason I call it that is for some reason Monday mornings are always when it's disgusting, but it's the truth. I have really gnarly bowel movements, you guys. From all the nasty food and beer watching football to all the depression of these shitty players. So the first guy I want to start with, some of these guys I've already talked about, but we're gonna start with DeAndre Swift. And I'd like to give him a swift kick in the ass, which that was not a written joke. That was just off the top of my head because I'm so
ad-libbing, baby, ad-libbing.
I'm so smart. And this guy, it still breaks my heart. Like you said, are they holding on to this guy for injury purposes? They're prepping him, keeping him safe for the long haul at the end of the season when they're still not going to make the playoffs, or this is going to be for next year or what? I don't really know. But he made my weekly Monday morning bowel movement list. I had to clean it up with a Swifter. That's my joke. My own shit. I had to take the thing and clean it.
Nice.
Okay, this next guy. Excuse me. No, this is pun intended. Pun intended. AJ Brown. Now he got 60 yards, I think, and that was not bad at all. But for AJ Brown, he's like a 150-yard dude. Yeah. I mean, this guy 60 yards on the Eagles. You're the number
Yeah,
one guy.
and you know what? Two things about that. This is 2 weeks in a row he's had a subpar game, and he had 50 yards in the first quarter, and then just like
I'm like, I saw a huge game out of this dude. I'm like, come on, man. This is the second time, like you said. So that one really bugged me. So get to that. I had to rail a huge one for that fucking guy. Okay, actually, I want to go on. The most important part about this segment is actually the poop themselves players of the year. These are the guys that are already washed up. No, they didn't wash up, actually. They shit their pants and didn't clean it. That's the wrong terminology. But these are guys that we are not going to play. We are not going to start. We are not going to give a second chance to for the rest of the season. That's the way I look at it. I'm going to talk about this every week because there's so many guys this year that we were like, dude, it's a shoo-in. They're going to kick some ass. And they're terrible. So my first one, I've loved this guy for a couple years, okay? And I'm using Royce's nickname on this. This guy goes from the town of Steel to Chicago. And we all wanted this guy to do something. He has been so horrible. And that is Waste Claystool. That guy, what, 2 catches? Is it 2 catches for 10 yards or something? And this is what is happening over there. Why pick him up? Why trade for him? Why are you bringing him in if you can't throw to him? Is that something that the quarterback's doing? Is it the play calling? Or does he just really suck? So he hasn't done anything in like 2 years. And we saw him 2 years ago, and he was absolutely incredible. And he has been a Waste Claystool. So that's kind of half the thing. Isn't it half the name that Royce? Yeah. Is that
Claystool, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
that was it.
I'm trying to be funny with it, but so here's another guy. All right. This is his counterpart in Schittsburg. Deontay.
Mm-hmm.
Deontay in the Johnson. That guy sucks, dude. What has happened over there? I got him in 2 leagues, and then it's another one of those things where every week again you're like, "Oh, it's he's a hammer." Well, he's not a hammer anymore. The quarterback's not throwing to him. He's not getting any looks, and when he does get, he's not getting like a lot of yards after the carry. He's just getting slammed at the line. That has been the worst. I don't suggest either one of those wide receivers the rest of the year. I hate to encourage people to bench Deontay Johnson, but I don't think he's going to get enough to warrant a starting position on your roster unless you got somebody hurt. He's now number 3, number 4 wide receiver, and that's incredibly disappointing. So my last one, and this one is huge, is Matthew Stafford. That guy is a huge disappointment also. And I thought that, it's still Matthew Stafford. He had the little weird elbow or whatever. I guess he had an accident trying to wipe himself. He does this thing where a lot of guys will go from, like the front, and he went from behind and he fucked up his elbow. And it's done. He's never been the same. Never been the same. And if you look closely too, his skin is like stained from all, I don't know what from, but anyway, it's done. And I suggest, concussion or not, even if he doesn't have a concussion, he is not your starting quarterback anymore. He's not. So he's a huge disappointment. And he's done for the year. So do not start Stafford. And the last person, I want to add myself, actually. I'm gonna add myself to this list, this shit themselves kind of year-long list. And I still can't get over that I didn't draft Amari Pooper. I had many opportunities to get that guy. And I'm sure maybe you guys did too. I don't know if you have him on any of your rosters, but he came up so many times for me. And I told you guys also, again, last summer, I think we had a segment. I was like, I will never, ever draft Amari Pooper again. And so for that, I'm putting myself on my own shit list. I pooped myself. That's all I got to say. I got nothing else to report on it.
That was funny.
That was good.
That was really good. Good segment. I
look like something out of like Slytherin.
Hey, Hey, Poop, could you gone with Matthew Staph infection?
Ooh.
Does that kind of work?
That's probably what's going on. You're probably right. With all the poop under his fingernails,
Right.
and through his elbow, and he has a
Right.
staph infection. That's gross. So ridiculous.
So was your whole segment. But
Yeah, I'm only in my 50s, you guys. So give me a break. I'm just having fun.
That was good. Very, very well done.
All right.
Keep this hat for next week, boys.
I love it. That's great.
All right.
That was
All right,
good.
that's a good segment. We're gonna have to do that weekly. I like that a lot.
Funny.
All right.
Roll with Royce, the degenerate gambler.
Something that we always do for Royce when he makes an appearance is,
Make fun of me.
well, besides making fun of you, Royce, it's the degenerate gambler segment. We're gonna roll with Royce, the degenerate gambler. He's gonna pick all 3 Turkey Day games, and he's gonna give us what his picks are. We're going 3-0 this week, folks. By the way, this is not gambling advice. You do what you want to do. This is what Royce is gonna do this week. Right?
Purely entertainment purposes.
That's right.
Only.
Go for it, Royce. Give us your pick.
Okay, real quick. So Buffalo's at Detroit, and they're Buffalo's a 9.5 point favorite. Poop, you've seen Step Brothers, right?
Yeah.
It's top 100, right? Remember in the beginning they didn't really like each other, but at the end they came together.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how Buffalo and Detroit are. Buffalo's go, hey guys, it's 9 feet of snow over here. Can we come play at your place? Yeah, sure, come by. throw a touchdown to Diggs. Okay, Williams. Now Swift, you run for a touchdown. All right, now it's they're gonna go back and forth. I like it, like kind of a close one. I still like Buffalo to win. I got them winning 34-28, but Detroit will definitely cover those 9.5 points. And Detroit, again, we talked about them earlier, playing well, 3 in a row, right? They weren't supposed to beat the Giants, and they went in there and whooped their ass. So
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a fun game. And Chuck was saying the Bills' defense is a little susceptible, right? You can run on them, you can throw on them, and that's what Detroit's been doing. So I like kind of a close game, but Bills to win. Second one, Giants at Dallas, and Dallas is a 9-point favorite. Put the mortgage on Dallas, guys. The Giants, we talked about it, are completely depleted. I think it's easier to see who is playing than who's not playing in this. They're just completely decimated by injury. And the Lions just ran and threw all over them last week. And Dallas's defense is top 3 right now. And you saw what happened last week against the Vikings. I mean, they went in there and just pummeled them. I like Dallas big, guys, 31-13. And the last game is Minnesota is home against the Patriots. Minnesota is a 2.5 point favorite. The last time the Patriots played on Thanksgiving was 10 years ago, and they played the Jets. Do you know what that game was famous for, Poop?
Don't remember.
It was the butt fumble game.
Oh, yeah.
You guys remember that?
The franchise, baby. Sanchez.
Exactly. That's right. That's right. The problem with this game, if this game was played at 9:30 in the morning, I love Minnesota. But what's the problem? What's the problem with Kirk Cousins and playing after
prime time?
Right. And usually he's in bed by this time. I'm pretty sure he goes to bed by 8, but he's playing late. I like the Pats in this game. I like them on the money line. I like them to win straight up 23-17. Their defense, Patriots defense is it's like Dallas. It's top 3. I think if they could shut Jefferson down somehow and just keep the ball on the ground, hopefully give it to your boy Stevenson, Chuck, I think it's going to be a good game. And I like the Pats. So it's kind of a little mini upset, but I do like them, at least to cover, but I do like them to win the game. So take Detroit plus 9.5, Dallas -9, and then the Pats on the money line to win.
I have 3 words for Mr. Cousins.
What's that?
You like that? You like that?
You don't like that.
They're going to lose again. I'm with you on this. I think they're going to lose.
I think so too. I think they're going to lose it straight up. You're right.
And they're going to fall to 8-3.
It'd be third loss. Yeah.
Or 7-3. Yeah. No, 8-3. 8-3. Yeah. There's a couple teams I just don't believe in. They were winning a lot of games, but I never quite bought into them. And one of them was the Vikings, and the other one was the Giants. I just don't buy in these teams because we've seen them before in their quarterback play. It doesn't cut it when it comes to nut cutting time. Like they fail. All All right.
Yeah,
I don't trust Danny
absolutely.
Dimes, and I definitely don't trust Kirk, who will fuck your cousins. I just don't trust them.
They're turd cutting teams.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's hope. Let's go 3-0 this week.
Also, one thing I do want to mention that I didn't mention in the news, and we didn't mention him as a guy to pick up, is Odell Beckham Jr. There are a lot of rumors out there that he is liking the Cowboys, and they are liking him back. And there's a possibility that he could sign with the Cowboys. I know Jerry Jones has long been he wants Odell Beckham on his team. So if that happens, that's a good place for him to settle in. They need that secondary receiver to P.P. Lamb. So I like Beckham in that situation. It might take him a few weeks to get his, sea legs back, but it's a good stash type player to have on your roster.
Sure.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Another fantastic show, fellas. I want to thank Sir Poops a lot for your poop segment and for all your stuff you brought to the show tonight. Thank you, Sir Poops a lot. Mr. Tony, thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Smell you later. And, Royce, the Degenerate Gambler, bringing his picks back to the show and actually making a full appearance in place of Johnny Ballgame. Thank you, sir, for coming on the show tonight.
My pleasure. That was fun.
It was fun, even though you look like, like foreskin in your little cape there. I don't know how else to explain it.
Don't be jealous. Warm and
He's got a
in
Scrooge.
my onesie. Don't be jealous.
Kind of looks like Little Red Riding Hood, too.
Yeah, I got a treat for you, little boy. Come here.
All right, guys.
I got
Hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop a comment down below in the comment section, and tune in next week. We'll be back. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. Love you all. Thank you very much. And aloha.